Hello, trading is closed on November 30th, 2016. Let's go over yesterday's calls. We had a few targets. We said this price would have to be surpassed at some point because it was a hole in the wall, a gap. We surpassed it early. Typically there's resistance over this price, and there was. We had a MEJT target of 2201.45. That's this red line that printed, and there was support under it. I have a standard rule that having a strong gap in the undesired direction usually puts this out of play. That isn't a call that it won't print, it's just an alert that the chances of it printing within its preferred time frame have been reduced. Well, it printed anyway. I said yesterday's pattern was quite negative, and the only thing that would stop us from dropping further was to gap up over this high and preferably over these, which is what we did. I didn't think it would happen, but it did. During the day, MEJT gave an ultimate sell and an ultimate buy. The sell's been satisfied, but not the buy. Ultimately, we should see 2211.62. It doesn't have to print soon, but usually does. There's an optional price target of 2211.37. If it doesn't print tomorrow, I'd forget that one. In the afternoon, it says this rally is false and this drop is false. Gives us a target of 2206.92, most likely to print tomorrow. So MEJT doesn't believe in this drop and gives us some higher price targets. There's always a catch, and the catch is when you're near a trend extreme, MEJT typically leaves a failed target. So if we do drop straight away from here, that wouldn't surprise me. You just can't rely on these alone. There's an increased risk it won't work. However, these aren't the only positive signs from today's trade. We had the wall into the close. We had a close right at the low of the day. These are often signs of public capitulation. When this works, we typically gap up sharply. This is a pattern which typically closes at the day's high. I said yesterday the pattern tended to have a low at the end of the first hour, which we did. The pattern usually rallies into the close based on time. That's the pattern we got. When we drop instead, it's very negative unless it's invalidated by gapping up sharply and overtaking this high. That conflicts with these other indicators. So when I have conflicting indicators, the most likely scenario is we gap outside of today's range. Now, when we hit the new high early today, we had a new bar 13 of a combo sell signal on the half-a-day chart. The bar can finish early, and that's another sell signal. It's negative that on the day that you hit a new all-time high, not only do we close down, but we undercut all these prior highs. It's very negative, but the closure would have been if we undercut this prior low, and that we didn't do. Also, this price is a Fibonacci target of the prior consolidation. What you do is you take your Fibonacci grid. Here's your it's right there. Here's your 38.2. Here's your 61.8, and there's your 50. It's a perfect target price. So we dropped right to a target, right to support, and not through it. So what's going to happen tomorrow? I think we're going to have a gap outside of the day's range, even though futures are down as I'm recording this. I think it's very possible that we gap up even over this high tomorrow, and then shortly after the open reverse it, possibly sharply. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that this public panic selling is the start of something big on the downside, and if so, we should have a gap under this low, which could be a very negative day. So I still think we're in the range of a high. I think whether we drop from the open or gap up sharply and reverse, probably sharply, I think lower prices are coming. Just a question if we gap up first or drop right from the open. And that's today's call.